Hi everyone, my name is Shona and this is Laura. Say hi, Laura.
Hello.
And today we are going to be doing a really quick mini interview for you guys, which is just 3 questions we're going to ask each other. Now, Laura and I are both involved with network marketing. We are with different companies, but we actually met through a social media networking group online. We chat all the time and she's amazing. So today we're just going to find out a little bit more about each other. So we're going to do 3 questions. And I hope you guys enjoy. So Laura, do you want to go first and ask me a question?
I would love to. Okay, so Shona, question number 1. I would like to ask you, what is your biggest tip for maintaining a stable business?
Maintaining a stable business. I learned this really early on, actually, and I think it helped grow my business really quickly. And my mentor referred to it as having a DMO, which is a daily method of operation. So something you do to grow your business every single day. And she referred to it like the legs of a chair. So if there's 4 legs of a chair, it's a lot more stable than if there's like 2 or 3, it kind of gets a little bit wobbly. So I always try to make sure that I have 4 methods of growing my business happening every single day. And it also helps, if someone knocks 1 leg out from underneath you, if you've got 3 others, you're probably going to be a little bit more stable. If you only had 1 way of doing your business and someone knocked that out from underneath you, you'd kind of be a little bit screwed. So I grow my business through 4 different ways every single day. Social media, I use flyers, I do wellness evaluations and one-on-one appointments with my clients, and I focus on getting referrals. So even if it rained and that stopped me from doing my flyers, I still have 3 other ways of growing my business every day. So that's my biggest tip on making sure you have a stable business.
I love that. I really have enjoyed actually getting to know you, Shona. And one of the things that I love about you is I really love the fact that you've always said to me, look, you grow your business in so many different ways. And I think that that's something that I've actually taken inspiration from, because I have to say I love social media and I get really hung up on using social media all the time, but actually definitely it inspires me to make sure that I am doing more than just the social media. So I love that. So you do your leaflet dropping, and what was the other one? And you do your
so referrals, leaflets, and then we do wellness evaluations, which is, I guess, like a one-on-one appointment that people do, and then social media as well. And it was really drummed into me early on that, I was using Facebook quite heavily when I first started. And then my mentor was like, what happens if our company decides you're no longer allowed to advertise on Facebook tomorrow?
Yes,
like, you've got to have some other stuff going on. So I learned that lesson very early on. I think it's really helped my business being quite consistent.
I love that. Okay, that's amazing. Thanks, hon.
Cool. So it's my turn.
Yes.
So I'm going to ask, because I know you're big on social media, what is your biggest tip for time management around social media? Because it can be very easy to get caught up and suddenly you're scrolling and watching YouTube and 4 hours have gone past and you've done nothing to grow your business actually. So how do you manage time and social media effectively?
Yeah, so this has been actually my biggest learning curve, because one of the things that's actually stopped my business from growing, and when you're talking about the 4 legs, is that I had spent far too much time being on social media and actually not maintaining the other parts of my business. So one of the big things that I would say is don't let that consume your business time, the time that you've got to spend growing your business. What I actually do is, because I'm so hectic and all over the place, I find that actually if I schedule in time to do my social media, I'm actually taking away from the time I should be doing more income producing activity. So what I actually do is, if I'm on the bus, when I wake up in the morning, I always reach for my phone. Before I go to bed at night, if anytime I have those small pockets of time, what I will do is then post in the moment. So one of the biggest things that I have learned in growing my social media is to actually post with urgency, post with energy. And if you've got something going on at that moment, I used to schedule everything to try and help with time management. But I've actually begun to realize what you're putting out to the universe, as wacky as that sounds, it's energy, and act in the moment. So if I have something happen in my business, like I attend a workshop or a one-on-one, or a new product comes out and I'm genuinely really excited at that moment, post it at that moment, because it's real and it's authentic. And I would say absolutely social media and our brand is so important. But yeah, don't get overwhelmed. Don't spend all your time doing it. Just small pockets of time, 5 minutes here, 5 minutes there. And yeah, that would be definitely my advice.
That's great. I love that. Thank you so much for answering that one, because obviously you're doing amazing with social media. And I found in the past, if I tried to, yeah, like you said, schedule time, like I'm going to do this on social media today, the energy isn't right and I don't get the same engagement. Whereas if it is just, I guess, in the cracks of my day, it feels a lot more natural and people obviously pick up on that energy, as hippie as that sounds, but it all makes sense.
I think you're appealing to different people at different times. So, often I found I was structuring everything at the same time every day, but people's lives are busy and everybody else's lives are different. And I think that actually when you're doing it off the cuff, I think actually you're connecting with people that are available at that time. And I am, like you said, in a hippie way, I actually believe that things happen at the right time. And you'll connect with the right people at the right time. So just go with the flow and fit it in what you're already doing. Okay, hopefully that helps everybody. Hello, little lady.
Hi. You got a mouthful of food.
And actually, this leads brilliantly to my second question for you, because all of my team actually all have. Oh, look at that!
So great.
Something from Halloween, I bet. One of the biggest things, Shing, the reason that I actually asked you to do this recording with me today is because my team all have children, all around the same age, all being under the age of 3, and one of the biggest fears that they have is building this business alongside having children. And I think that you are just the absolute. So if you haven't, I will post below Shona's Instagram and her blog page, because I think that you show for mums how to work this business. And the reason that I've asked you to do this recording today is because I know that you can show the girls, or hopefully offer some advice, how you would build a business alongside having children. So that's my question number 2. How do you fit in your business in such a busy life with your kids?
It's hectic. Like, I'm not gonna lie, it's absolute madness. And like, it's Wednesday today, and Wednesdays are our crazy days. So like, you are doing school runs, you are making lunch boxes, you are at karate, and you are at ballet, and you are at, my son's autistic, so he has 3 different therapists he sees a week too. And like, it gets mental, and you still have to do all your housework and everything. But what's actually saved me over the last few years, I'm going to shut the door so you don't hear Peppa Pig. Speaking of like mum life.
This is like, honestly, this is like our recordings. Usually one person's got a child on their arm and then we're putting your orders on the other.
So real, ever. This is my passion planner. So I'd be absolutely lost without this. This is like our family everything. So everything goes in here, all the kids' appointments. And I actually block out time. So like, this is my Thursdays. My daughter goes into daycare 1 day a week. My son's at school, and Thursdays is like my work day. So I know I hustle from the day, like the second I drop her off at daycare, I hustle until the second that I pick him up from kindy. So that's not the day where I do housework or go out for wine lunches with my friends. That's the day I back-to-back book client appointments. I do all my emails. And the good thing about blocking out time like that is that when you do work, you do work. And then when you don't, you switch off. Like, leave the phone on charge in the office, go spend proper time with your kids. I think Jim Rohn, who's a big personal develop guru for our company as well as heaps of other networking companies, said, when you're at the office, be at the office. When you're at the beach, be at the beach, which can be, it can get really muddled when you're especially doing network marketing through social media. You can kind of be on all the time, but it's really important to switch off. So Sundays is family day, like no phone, no social media, no calls. I think it's good though, because it's taught my team to be quite independent. If they have a question or something, they know I'm really, really busy, so they have to figure out how to find it themselves. But social media is great. It can really leverage your time. You want to be creating an independent business when you're a mum, especially. You do not want your distributors or your team dependent on you at all, because you already don't have a lot of time. So make sure your system is really clear, that they can access all the trainings and everything they need without holding your hand the whole time, because you're busy. You've got humans to raise. And then social media, I fit into the cracks, like you said. So if I get to school early, I will sit in the car for an extra minute or 2 and do my follow-up. If I am waiting while my son's in therapy, I'll jump online and process a couple of orders. Like, you've really got to fit it into the cracks around your kids. But I think realizing early on that mum guilt, is a completely useless emotion, and just get rid of that. Because as long as when you're with your kids, be with your kids, and when you're working, work. So sometimes you just have to fit it in around naps, around Peppa Pig, invest in Netflix.
Great. Do you do that at the beginning of your week then? Do you go in and go, okay, these are the times when I can actually do this? So you'll use your passion planner and what? Because I saw there you like highlighted it all. So that's really good.
So I block it out, and I block all my son's appointments, ballet appointments. Like, I put all the appointments in, and then I can go, all right, I've got a couple of hours on a Tuesday morning. I'm going to put her in the pram. I'm going to walk and do flyers. And on Thursday, she's in daycare. So that's when I'll book my wellness evaluations. Sometimes you do have to beg, borrow, and steal for babysitters, but just sit down and have a conversation with those people that you're asking to take care of the kids. And like, this is important to me, this event that I need to go to, can you have my kids for a couple of hours? You've got to invest family and friends. And a big tip as well for our kids is they know mummy and daddy have to work hard because they want to go to Disneyland in a couple of years, and we're going to take them over for our big conference and take them to Disneyland. So if they get a bit upset, they're like, Mum, you're on this call and I need you to read me a bedtime story, I'll be like, do you want to go to Disneyland?
Yeah, so they understand that actually means
they're invested in our goals. And also, like, that pushes me harder because I'm not going to tell my kids I'm going to take you to Disneyland next year and then not take them. Like, I don't want to be that evil person. So it pushes kind of me harder to reach my goals. But yeah, it is a fine balance, but also there is no balance in life. So just be organised.
When do you fit in? So if you schedule in the times like when you've got the naps and school time, you do that income producing activity. When do you put in time because obviously you know that you need to invest into your own personal mindset because that's all part of the journey. When do you do that? Is that in amongst?
Yeah, so Aaron, my husband, and I, obviously we actually do the business together now, so it's not me by myself, but the first 2 years in business it was me fitting it around everything. So we actually wake up probably an hour earlier than we have to, if that makes sense. So to create that extra time in our day. So as soon as we wake up, Aaron turns over and puts on personal development on his phone. That's when we wake up, we listen to personal development, I answer a couple of emails, I set my intentions for the day, I look at the day and schedule out what I need to do. We have a cup of tea together and have a bit of a chat. And then by then the kids are ready to get up and then we get on with our day. So it's about creating a bit of extra space. Keep Netflix for the kids, but don't get sucked into it yourself. If you have time to watch Netflix, if you are up to date on watching The Block, if you are binge watching Pretty Little Liars, if you have time to do that, you have time to grow your business. So that's one thing I'm really strong on with my team, especially with a lot of mums. If they message me and they're like, oh, are you watching My Kitchen Rules? I'm like, hell no. No. I'm making money. I'm growing my business. And if you want to grow your business, maybe you should turn off the TV too. Yeah. I think that's a big energy sucker for a lot of mums. Turn the TV off early, go to bed and wake up an hour early and grow your business. You'd be amazed how much income producing activity you can fit in when you don't feel like you have time.
I love that. I absolutely love
that. Helps.
I couldn't say it any better myself. Yeah, thanks, Sam. I think it's sometimes quite hard for me with my team because I don't have children, so I can do anything when I choose and I want to, and I think that definitely the girls are going to get so much value from this, so thank you. I really do appreciate that. It's amazing.
Yeah. My question for you?
Go for it, girl. I'm ready.
Sorry, I feel like I took a long time to answer.
No, that was amazing.
What has been the biggest positive side effect of your business? What was the unexpected thing you've gotten out of it?
Okay, so do you know what? I could actually answer this with so many different things, but if I had to be really truthful, the biggest thing that I would say from this business is actually I personally joined my network marketing company initially on making more money, being able to grow a business in 2 countries. But when I started actually delving into the business and actually doing the work, I realized that actually my mindset was so far behind. And although I was dreaming and I wanted all these things, I actually had a long way to go because I was frightened to talk to people about the products. I was frightened if they said they were too expensive or any objections they came up with. So I found after my excitement, I started to really become in my shell. And one of the biggest values that I've had from this business is actually overcoming people's rejection to the business and actually what people think of me, because through life I am definitely somebody who really cares what people think of me, and I often can change my personality to fit in with other people, and what they want me to be I can definitely change that. And I think that this business has actually really allowed me to gain some respect. It's taken time, but by me staying strong and continuing to work this business and be who, not worrying what other people think of me and doing it anyway, is actually allowed a respect from other people. I'm not sure if I'm making much sense, but what I'm trying to say is that this business has allowed me to be a person that I actually didn't think I could be and actually hadn't realised about myself. So, you know, I've always thought, yeah, you know, I get on with people, I've got lots of friends, but actually it's allowed me to really dig a lot deeper into my emotions and go, actually, what type of person am I? What type of life am I living? And because of who I am, this is where I am in my financial situation. This is where I am with how my life is. And I think that this business actually is so much more powerful than we give it credit for. So my overcoming positive things, as you said, would absolutely be being true to myself and actually not giving a shit what anybody else thinks, but actually just doing this and going, you know what, I can do this. And yeah, and
don't apologize for swearing. I'm like the queen of swearing. But seriously, you just prove to yourself you are being authentically you, and that's a pretty cool side effect to get from something that you just thought would bring you in a bit of extra pocket money, to really dig deep and figure out who you are, and then kind of not care if people like that or not. Must be liberating.
You think in the beginning like you do care what other people think of you and doing this business and the objections, you go in your shell, but actually when you suddenly deliver with the confidence, people will only react how you allow them to react.
Exactly.
I think that's what's changed for me. It's, you know, I do this business and I bloody love it, and you can either join in my energy or I'll see you later. And you know, I'm not talking about arrogance, I'm talking about, you know,
but it's like I'm doing this for me and I'm going to keep doing it, and if it's not for you, that's cool. Love you for where you're at, but
having tenacity, and I think tenacity is sexy, you know. It is. So yeah, that would be definitely one of my
no, that's awesome. And I've definitely been able to watch you come out of your shell, so, you know, from the first time we met and over the journey over the last couple of years has been pretty awesome.
Okay. Oh well, goodness, we're nearly at the end of our questions. Okay, this is an amazing question. But if you could go back and give yourself one piece of advice when you started your journey, what would it be, Shona? What would you say?
Oh my God. Shona at the start of her journey was a complete moron. Very, very excited.
Yeah.
I would tell myself to calm the hell down on social media. I definitely burnt a lot of bridges through my over excessive use of it, because, you know, I would post something up and it would work. I would be getting inboxes, I would be making sales. And so I would, you know, I knew every time I posted something, I would grow my business, but it got to a point where that stopped working. And it took me like 3 or 4 months of doing social media hardcore. Business grew rapidly, and then it took me like nearly a year to relearn my business, how to do it without that damaging social media tactics. So I don't regret it because I learned a lot, but I wish I could go back and tell myself just to slow down, think about your audience. And even though I was very excited, like I was making a lot of money very fast, helping a lot of people, I burnt quite a few bridges in that early stages. So I wish I had found, you know, I knew what I know now about social media, I would have done things very, very differently. And I guess as well, I recruited a lot of people early on, and I wish I could go back and tell myself, don't get too invested in these people. Like, don't get invested in the outcome. Just show them the opportunity, show them the vision for what's possible, but don't get so attached to the outcome. Because if I had someone quit on me back in those early days or change their mind, it affected me for like months. I'm not even kidding. Like, I held on to it so much. So I just wish I could go back and tell myself, don't get attached to the outcome of what these people choose. Yeah, like it's their choice. All you have to do is show them the vision, cast the vision for them, and if it's not for them, it's not for them. And yeah, don't get so much, because the people in my business now, which is crazy, probably my top 5 leaders, I didn't even know them at all when I started. Like they've literally come from bumping into some other mum at ballet, or from a friend of a friend of a friend of a friend, 7 friends away. Like I had no idea who they were, but back in those early months, I was like, I need to get this friend and that friend and my sister to join. And it's like, no, chill out.
Yeah.
Your main business builders aren't going to even be people you know. So it's cool, Shona, from almost 3 years ago.
Almost working with your friend. I actually think that it becomes even more beautiful when you're actually working with people that you don't know and forming relationships, definitely. And I honestly, well, half of the reason that Shona and I met was through this coaching group, and definitely in this coaching group we promote trying to, you know, we've all done it, but being less spammy. And I think nearly everybody that was going to watch this video is going to agree with you, because we've all done it. And I guess you're right, it is how we learn. But yeah, we make some mistakes, don't we, along the way. Yeah, that's really, I love that. And that's so, and it's just so
it is good now with my team though, because I'm like, just like when they start, I'm like, hold up. Yeah. I've done all the mistakes. I've made them all for you. Now let's do this properly. So I'm grateful for the experience, but at the same time, I look back, like it comes up in my time hop, and I'm like, why did you do that? But we're all bumbling idiots at the start, and that's okay. So my question back for you is actually, great minds think alike, exactly the same. So if you could go back to those first couple of months in your network marketing business and give yourself one piece of advice, what would it be?
Well, it's funny actually, because I answered this one way when you and I had a little run through before we've done this, and actually now I'm thinking about it and we've really sort of opened up. Actually, I think my advice would be actually very different to what I initially thought.
Yeah.
Mine would be actually don't reinvent the wheel, because I'm sure my upline is watching this right now and she will probably be sat there clapping her hands. But it is actually don't reinvent the wheel, because I thought I knew better than everybody else. Actually, we were both from optical dispensing roles before. And, you know, I was good at my sales. I consider myself to be good with people. I walked in totally confident, totally bolshy. I can do this, watch me go. And I cringe at myself too, because I look back and I definitely reinvented the wheel into something that it wasn't. And for those of you that are seeing my recording, we were talking about when people ask you, what do you do? What do you say? And often in our beginning, like we were talking about a minute ago, in the start of your business, you spam and you send out all these copy paste messages. Often when people ask you what you do in the beginning, you reinvent the wheel and you create some job role that actually isn't even what it is. Actually, I think if I could go back, and even to this day now, I will still say, just to be simple, do it, you know, how the leaders above you, and remember that everybody's given it that stupid go and probably failed, and they know now what works. I do believe that this industry is changing, and I definitely believe we need to move with the times, and especially when it comes to being online and looking at the trends. But I definitely would say, actually, my advice, my answer to this question initially was don't be afraid and enter into everything with an undecided heart. But now I would actually say, having thought about it over this last 10 minutes, I would say, just absolutely, I forgot what I was going to say. Sorry, Sean. I was so busy thinking of the next thing. I was like, there's just too much for me to say to this question.
I know. I'm like trying to condense this down into small answers, and I'm pretty sure I could talk for hours.
On this note, there's this and there's this and there's this. I would absolutely say listen to your uplines. And I would like to say 2 things actually before we finish this call. That 2 of the biggest things that I have that hold so much value for me in my business, and it's not necessarily about systems. It's one, for me, if I had known now what I knew back, if I'd known back then what I know now, is definitely the compound effect. So every little thing that you're doing, and you may not be seeing these results, that I'm starting to realize, wow, there was someone I spoke to a year ago about this business that, yeah, it may not have been the right time for them then, but it is the right time for them now. And I'm realizing that all these little things I'm doing, these videos that I'm watching, the people that I'm talking to, the people that are joining me in my adventure, it's the compound effect. Everything is building up and building up. And I think prepare yourself that at some point, are you ready for impact? Have you prepared yourself? Because everything that you're building up, it might feel like I'm not getting anywhere and I'm not getting the results I want, but just prepare yourself, woman, because it's coming. And
I see it as well, like every event and every conversation and every book you read and every webinar you watch and every time you have a revelation or every goal you write, it's like, you know, those giant jigsaw puzzles you do in the school holidays as a kid, like one of those like 10,000 times, that every little thing you do is like another little piece of the puzzle, and it just keeps, and so the picture gets clearer and then clearer and then clearer, and then all of a sudden, you know, you've only got a handful of pieces left and you just pop them in and it's like, ta-da!
Every time you go, I've got it, I've nailed it. No, actually, we've got a whole other piece ready to go in a minute.
Yeah, you just got one little piece right, and then we, you know, sometimes the pieces take a little bit of jiggling back and forth to find the right one. But
and one other thing, sorry, I get too excited now. One other thing is, and this has been the change in my business, is actually, and it sounds so corny and spiritual, but leading with love. Actually, you know, don't do things, and I know you can hear that everyone's going to hear this all the time, but I mean really genuinely, if you're doing things, it hurts when people say no. And for me, you know, like you said, I've cried nights because someone said no, and I dreamed in my head they were going to be my next biggest business partner, or they were going to order my product every single time, but yet they've gone to another company. I would definitely say lead with love, and even when people hurt you, keep being the best person that you can be and be the kindest person that you can be, because genuinely I believe, and this is it, the universe has your back. And I think that if you go around behaving the most kindest, most loving person that you can be, not only does it make you a bloody awesome person, you're actually giving out the right energy. And that would be when you and I spoke a couple of months ago and you said, what's changed in your business? It's that. Truly believe you're on the right path, truly believe the universe has your back, and it totally will.
Yeah. Awesome. This has been such a fun call. I've learned a lot.
I need to shut up now. But okay, well, thank you everybody for watching, and if you have any questions, just pop them below. But thanks, guys.
Bye.